Hey, what's up everyone? We're out here at Lynchburg College. If you watched the last local route, we mentioned this park right here, this field. We're just gonna get some field work in, throw some discs, throw some new discs, and answer some questions. I know Hannah's gotten a lot of questions on what we do for field work, so I'm gonna answer some of those questions and show you what I do out here in order to practice, get ready for the season, and test new discs. So let's get into it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm throwing every disc in my bag, just kind of a couple loose shots, kind of loosening up, warming up. Now that I'm out here at the park, just kind of trying to throw them all in a straight line, just see how they're all acting, because from last round to this round I might have hit a tree, maybe got a chunk out of a disc, kind of see if they're flying any different. So I'm gonna do that one way through, toss them back, probably all of them on a hyzer on the way back, and then probably a little bit more strategic on the next round, maybe throw them on flex lines, big hyzers and hyzers, depending on what disc. And I also brought a lot of impacts out here to try out, as well as some new MALTAs. So I'm gonna continue throwing them straight. So if you want to watch, see what height I'm trying to put them on, and what angle I'm putting each disc on in order to get it to fly straight. A little bit more overstable. Thought that one was a lot more overstable. I'm starting to beat in nicely. This is a new MALTA. Undertakers are gone. Oh, you gotta give them to Adam. Let that headwind get a hold of it. Brought one onyx out. ZEUS. Have a couple people out there that stop to watch. I got four horses right here. Is that onyx or ZEUS?
That's a ZEUS. I already threw my onyxes.
Slight headwind that's pulling them over a little bit more than I'm anticipating right now. And then my most overstable disc. And last, I got the 5 impacts. I'm just gonna see how they fly. This is the only one I've thrown. I know it's got a little bit of stability to it. So right now, all my discs are still out there. What I'm gonna do is set my bag in a spot, and because it was a warm-up, I don't have to throw them as hard as I can back to get back to this point, because I wasn't ripping them super hard out there. So what I'm gonna do now is put my bag in a spot and throw all the discs back on a consistent hyzer, and try to land them at one point at a controlled distance. So I'm gonna have Hannah stand near my bag so you can see the disc coming in on that hyzer line and seeing how each one's gonna react a little bit different depending on the mold and the speed of the disc. So hopefully you enjoy that.
How many of the same disc, mold, or plastic do you use for fieldwork reps?
I think there's a lot of different ways to do field work. Right now what I'm doing is I have my bag out here. Sometimes I might just be like, I need to work on my straight shot, so I'll take like 10 undertakers or 10 buzzes or whatever I have of that mold and go work on those specifically. So there's definitely different types of field work to practice. So right now I have pretty much 2 of each mold, 2 to 5, but if I do have more, I'll take more out on certain days.
What's the best way for beginners to practice field work when they don't have a whole bunch of discs?
I think the best way to work, if you don't have that many discs, go out and learn how to throw each disc straight, or go out there and throw each disc on like a big hyzer, see how it reacts in the sky, big anhyzer, see how they react. So learn how to throw certain shots rather than what each disc does. But yeah, I think that's key when you're going out to the field is seeing which each disc does on a certain line, because it'll eventually become a useful shot in your game.
What do I actually do other than just throwing discs?
Envision the lines that you're throwing. Even though I have a wide open field here, I kind of tried to play in my mind that it was a tunnel shot. I didn't want to throw them too high. I didn't want to throw them too far on a hyzer or anhyzer. I wanted to throw them down this tunnel that's maybe 30 feet wide. That way I kind of am throwing a tight window, so I can kind of see how they react. If I wanted to throw big outside that, just envision some kind of trees on the left that I have to go around. So mentally you got to envision the course while you're out here in this empty field.
Do you practice more distance throwing or accuracy?
So when I first started, a big thing I wanted to do is just throw until my arm hurt. Continue to just keep pushing it, and gain distance. And then once I had that distance, I could start to hone it in and make it more accurate and kind of find a controlled different distance. So now it's like 450 to 500. Sometimes I'll push it to 550 if I really need to, but I'll lose a little bit of accuracy. But I went distance first and just went out there and threw as hard as I could, and then started to hone it in, refine my form, and kind of make it more controlled distance. So I think distance first and then accuracy, because once your form's dialed, it's a little bit harder to kind of break it down and gain more distance, if that makes sense. So distance, then accuracy.
Last question for now. How do you make it more fun?
It is kind of boring, but I think learning the flights that you can throw with the disc, first trying to learn the straight line, which is the boring part, but then seeing what you can do with each disc and seeing how each disc reacts different. You can throw every disc on the same line on a hyzer, but see, they all react different. So some might want to just keep going hyzer even more, some might want to fly out and flex and then just catch this point of glide. So seeing that is fun to me. Hopefully it's fun to you, because it makes field work a lot more fun. And then learning how to envision a course in your head and picturing like there's trees all on the left side, I need to sneak it around on a hyzer, or there's a group of trees right here early, I need to sneak it and then let it fly out. So then learning how to put those pictures in your mind is really key to disc golf and having fun in the empty field.
All right, I know Paul started off as a forehand guy from his baseball experience. I'm at that stage. I have a solid right hand forehand, but I can't drive right hand backhand. What would be the best order of operations for developing that in field work?
Did he say he was baseball, or he just started out forehand?
Baseball.
Baseball, I mean, the easiest way to learn a backhand is know that throwing a disc backhand is the same mechanics as a baseball swing. The only difference is you're not holding a bat here, your arm's not here, it's just here. Everything else is the same. So that's the easiest part. If you want to break down a backhand, just look at baseball mechanics, swinging, exact same thing. But as far as why you need a backhand, I think it's the most versatile shot in disc golf. So you're going to need it for all these holes, these, the scrambles, the tee shots, the up shots, even putting's kind of a backhand stance. But learn the backhand. Forehand's always going to be needed, so don't forget it, but focus mainly on backhand. That's where you're going to get most of your distance long term and most of your success on the course.
How do you shape shots like a flex, hyzer flip, etc. in an open field where there's nothing to shape around?
The easiest way to go out to a field and shape shots is I kind of just want to put the disc on the table here. Let's just picture there's a table, and you're gonna have to picture there's trees out there and stuff, or obstacles when you're shaping shots. But let's picture it's on the table, and I'm standing here even. If I want to throw Anheuser, I'm gonna use my core and lean back. So now you can see the angle of the disc is upwards already. So that's the Anheuser angle. If I'm gonna lean my core forward, you know, however forward I want to go, Heiser angle. So here, here, here. Small degrees. 1 degree can be a little Anheuser, really hard, big Anheuser, and it depends on where you're trying to throw it up, how long it'll take to flex out, or if you want to throw it down, you can throw a roller. All sorts of angles, same thing with the Heiser. So it's this core right here, your upper abs. That's where you're going to get your angles from. So
How do I focus on having a soft touch to my approach shots? I'm throwing zones and I'm still just overshooting all my targets.
if you want to throw touch shots, up shots, you know, small fairway shots, I think a straighter disc will be key. You mentioned a zone. I think that's a little bit more on the overstable side. I think it's a great disc, especially in the jawbreaker type plastic or the softer plastic if you're trying to throw it straight. But if you got a Z or ESP, it's going to be a little bit more overstable, so you're going to have to throw it harder. But I think getting something a little bit more neutral, a Luna, a Roach, Magnet, there's tons of straight putters made by Discraft. So that, and then almost like you're trying to play catch with the basket. You want to actually like throw it softly into the, you know, if you're picturing the basket as a person, you want to throw it soft into their hands. You don't want to power it to where they have to like catch it really hard. You want to kind of just have it drop into their hands, drop into the basket. Get yourself in what we like to call a comfort circle. If you feel comfortable putting from 20 feet, then your circle is 40 feet. You know, you got 20 on the right, 20 on the left, 20 long, 20 short. So just kind of try to throw your upshot or your approach shot into that comfort circle. Obviously, the better your putter is, the bigger your comfort circle is going to be. So long story short, work on putting, and then your circle's going to get bigger, but act like you're trying to play catch with the basket.
Last question. How many things do you try to work on each field day? Do you have one main focus or many?
I think each field day practice can be different. Today I just have my bag out here relearning my disc. It's been a while since I took my bag out to play or to throw out in the field. I've been playing a lot of courses, kind of just throwing a designated line for my disc. Here I want to relearn how they can fly, the wear that they have on them, the shapes I can throw. Do I need a new Onyx? Do I need a new Buzz? So I'm kind of relearning my bag here, and I got the impacts to learn. Each field practice day is a little different. Some days I might just take all distance drivers out there, work on forehands, work on backhand, work on distance shots, flex lines, all sorts of stuff. So each day is going to be a little different, but it is what you want it to be. So, you know, whatever you feel like your weakest part of your game is, go out there and work on that, gain confidence in that aspect, and it'll overall bring your game up. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. If there's any questions that you want answered, please leave it down below. And thank you, John, for being out here with us. Thank you, Hannah, for filming. And if you have any questions for him, drop it down below. Maybe we'll get him in on some of these questions in this field work, kind of from the AM going to pro side. So thanks again for watching.
Or a lefty-righty.
Or a lefty-righty. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to share it. We'll see you on the next one.
What kind of buzz is it?
ESP Buzz. It's a white on white, so you can't really see the stamp. You see how it just keeps going right? And it never like kind of hides it back out. So very interesting, and I'm excited.